Okay, so these next set of questions are about your work history. So what was your first job at Mervyn Con? Do you remember?
Emptying trash, restrooms, washing the showcase windows, changing bulbs, anything. We were called. This was interesting. Do you know what a porter is? Okay, we were called porters. And I believe the name comes from porters on trains. Porters would serve the people, do anything that needs to be taken care of. And so it transferred to the store that they would use the term porter for someone. Basically, it could be janitorial or a jack of all trade.
Right.
Would help people bring their merchandise out. Probably back then in the 20s and 30s when the merchandise came by train, they would open the crates, you know, have well, it was delivered across the street to the store. The train station was right there. So that's what I learned what a porter was, because it was always interesting. On my time card it said porter. And so that's what I was. I was a porter.
You were on the payroll, you got a check, even though you were 13?
I was 15.
15?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so what did you move up next to?
I guess a step up from that was a Saturday job. Sometimes after school if it was needed, especially like during the holidays. Then when I was old enough to work in the men's department. My brother, his summers worked in the men's department. My sisters worked in the ladies' ready-to-wear or dry goods, wherever they were needed. But basically, my brother and I would work during the summers, and we were vacation replacements.
Okay. Do you remember people coming from out of town to shop there?
Oh yeah, Lafayette. Their families they were from Rain and they moved. You know, married and moved away. There's people from Eunice, Jennings, Opelousas, that would still, on a regular basis, you know, buy their clothes or their giftware or their fabrics, and the ladies, and you had the shoe department, the ladies' shoe department. They would come back to town. And you had people that would come to town, visit during the holidays, who moved away, and they'd make sure they'd come back to visit at Mervyn Con.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't have to like apply for the job there or get interviewed. No, your dad was just like.
I had people on the inside, but it's who you knew. Who you knew.
That's also how Miss Viola got the jobs. Is that how most people got the job at Mervyn Con? If you knew someone, they would get you in?
Yeah, I mean, back then, it's someone who could vouch for your character. A lot of people got hired like that. Many, you know, they just walked up, and like the Con family, I know. I heard stories how they would take this son or daughter of a widower or a widow, and you know, they'd work at the store. They were good workers. They got to know them. Their intentions were to hopefully go to college, and the Cons would help with that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh, they've helped educate many of people.
Really?
Okay. I have no proof of that, just stories.
Yeah.
When my dad passed away, there was a man that came to me. I knew of him and told me how, you know, if it wasn't for the Mervyn Cons and the Con family, he wouldn't have made it to college.
That's what I heard. That's what Miss Viola said. They were very generous.
Oh yeah. They bartered in the 20s and 30s, like during the Depression. You know, you'd come to town with your eggs or your chickens, and you traded for goods. They had barter coins. I call them barter coins. You could bring merchandise to them. Well, not merchandise, but your produce.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have anything to get that day, well, then you could receive a coin. And it would say 5 cents, 10 cents worth of merchandise,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Or they'd mark it down in the book.
Wow. So they had their own money.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about, I was talking to my son about that this afternoon. I'd have to find that cigar box. I think I have one. I think I have one from the store. I remember seeing them in the safe,
Mm-hmm.
in the vault. There was a lot of things that were kept over the years.
Wow. So did your brothers just train you?
We didn't work there at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was Miss Lou, Miss Yola, and let's see, who else would have worked in the men's department at the time?
So whoever had been there the longest kind of showed you the ropes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the men's department, there was always 3 people there.
Mm-hmm. Always
and
men.
Ladies ready to wear, you had four ladies in that department. Junior department, 2 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, you get waited on. You know, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Now it's all self-serve. If you can't find if you can't find something you want, some of these bigger stores, you gotta hunt somebody down and you know, get that help. But no, I was part of that tradition of someone walked in, hey, how you doing, and
Mm-hmm.
what you looking for today, and helping, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, so was there a minimum wage there? Or did you kind of get...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was on minimum wage. Couldn't tell you what it is. Couldn't tell you what it was.
And do you remember if they
And I
had
did
like...
payroll later in the 80s, and I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you what right now. Whoa, we're talking 4 something in the 80s. Did we make 415, something like that? I don't know. Wait, hold on. 375. I remember like 375 being minimum
375.
wage. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy. Do you remember if they had...
Yeah, but it's still
Yeah.
the same. You
Yeah.
know, things are more expensive, and we can get into that. I mean, don't get me started on that, girl.
Do you remember if they offered retirement, pension, insurance?
I wouldn't have known that.
No.
No, I was during this. Okay, I started as a porter, worked in the men's department, and I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told Dad I wanted to go through the school of hard knocks, and I wanted to work at the store. And a girl had left the office, so it worked out. He didn't get rid of her for me. I want you to think that.
Mm-hmm.
No, then I went to work in the office,
Mm-hmm.
and got to learn, you know, you learn the switchboard, you learn the cashier, because we only had one cashier in that store.
Mm-hmm.
Everything came up through the tubes. I don't know if you talked to anybody about that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
Okay.
went and saw the tubes. Those are crazy.
I haven't been since, I went when he was gutting it.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife got to see that, and she got to see it when it was the Peter Como's antique place. So
Mm-hmm.
I was able to show her the setup of the store and everything, and it was full of all that, you know, Peter's stuff. And but I have not gone yet back to when it's the crossing now. I
That's
haven't.
beautiful.
Now that it's the reception hall, I haven't gone yet. I found out my niece wants to have a reception there, so
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Great. I mean,
And the
floors
reason why is
are
because of her grandfather, and then we all worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a reception. Lives in Lafayette,
Mm-hmm.
but she wants to get married here in Rain and have the reception here, so which I thought was
Wow.
unique.
So your dad didn't get retirement from them, or you don't know?
I don't know.
No. Okay.
Yeah, well, I did see something in the books, but it was like, you know, Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
So much placed, and then on an account at the store, and then he would take it to the building and loan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he had something set up privately with them.
Right.
He didn't have a, well, he did, yeah. Before he retired, he did tell me about this new thing, IRAs. you know. So that just came into effect in the 80s.
So
and he said, he did explain, yeah, so that would have started maybe in the late 70s then, because I remember him telling me, if you do anything, if you set aside this much a year, he said, you're not going to believe how it multiplies. And that's one of his financial advices he did, yeah, he told me about. So yeah, back then they did have, you know, individual retirement accounts.
Okay. Did your dad work with, was he under Mr. Jan Cow, or did he work under the Cons?
You could also say he was general manager, but like I was a porter, title was comptroller.
Okay.
That's what I remember. But you could say general manager. Took care of employees, took care of the books. Didn't do the buying. He didn't do the buying. Mervyn and 2 or 3 of the ladies did that. They would go up to the New York market and do the buying.
Okay. How would you say the atmosphere working there was? Some people say...
It was a hen house, Beth. It was mostly women working there. No, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and you could still feel the old school work ethic. And when I left there, I was in management. I ran different stores, and I'm not in it anymore because of the frustration of the work pool, the workforce. Kids nowadays, they want to check. That's it. They don't want to work for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like the last of the old school.
Yeah.
You could feel that, and learning the stories about how Mervyn Khan started his store and was touching everybody's lives around here. Did good for so many, you know, so many people. I'm not talking about just giving money away, but what was established with his business, how it affected everybody's lives, was providing goods and providing an economy for this community. I mean, if he wouldn't have got off that train that day and decided to stay, yeah, you'd have a whole different, you know, rain would be different.
Wow.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I learned to buy low and sell high. That's and work hard to work less.
What was your least favorite part of the job?
Cleaning the bathroom.
It's obvious.
But everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's funny. That's true. What about
Makes me appreciate everything I have.
That's true.
Everybody needs to start at the bottom, then.
That's true. That's so true.
Everybody, and also everybody should be a waiter or a waitress for 6 months at least.
Thank you.
You'd have a